veiled nicely by my creative power, yogamāyā, I am not revealed to all. This bewildered world knows me not, the unborn, the unchanging. There's a spare handout here if anyone needs. The Supreme Soul is veiled by his Maya, illusion. What is Maya, illusion? We have discussed this earlier in this chapter. Not seeing Vasudev, the Supreme Soul, in objects and seeing Vasana, mental impressions and desires in objects is Maya, illusion. Because we are in this world, objects will keep coming. We are in the material world and we have senses, a mind, an intellect, consciousness and ego, and we are surrounded by all of these. Therefore, objects will keep coming in front of us. While we are in this world, then objects will keep coming in front of us. What do we look for in these objects? From what perspective do we see these objects? If a person does not see Vasudev, the Supreme Soul, in objects, and sees Vasana, mental impressions and desires in objects, then this is Maya, illusion. God is veiled by this. We saw earlier in this chapter that Maya, illusion, is one's perspective. If one does not see the truth and one only sees what they want to, then this is Maya, illusion. Seeing things from your perspective is Maya, illusion. The meaning of seeing things from your perspective is that you see what you want to see even though it is not there. Ma and Ya, what does that mean? Means that it is not there and yet you see it. In the Sri Ramcharitmanas, there is a very beautiful description in the Balkand. Ram and Lakshmanji arrive in Janakpuri, the town of Sita, on Janak, and people have come to see them. There is a description of how people saw Sri Ram differently, and then right after this, Tulsidas Ji writes only one thing because he thought that if he went to describe this, then he would have to describe the feelings of all the people in the world towards God. Jinake rahi bhavana jaisi prabhu murati dekitin aisi. The feelings that people had in their minds, they saw the Supreme Soul, Sri Ram, in that way. What is this world? If one only sees God according to the feelings they have in their mind, then what about this world? If one cannot see God as a form of truth, then how can one see the material world properly? The material world is nothing else apart from Maya, illusion. How can such a Maya, illusion, veil God? A common ignorant person has the experience and understanding that the object that hides something must be larger than the thing that it is hiding. The object that hides something must be larger than the thing it is hiding. Only then can it hide it. If one is feeling cold and one wishes to wear a shawl, then the shawl that he wears must be bigger than him. It must be bigger than him. Only then can he wear it, and only then can a shawl cover him. A shawl that is smaller than a person cannot hide that person. God says, we use the same example, that to cover if you're looking at a mountain far away, you cover your hands are smaller than the mountain, yet because they're so close to you, they cover that mountain. God says in this verse that he's veiled by this Maya illusion. Then one may say that Maya illusion becomes bigger than God. Only then can Maya illusion cover God. Otherwise, how can it be able to cover God? The Rishis say no to this, and that Maya illusion is not bigger than God, yet it still covers God, and there is a reason for this. The reason for this is that there can be many reasons why something cannot be seen. Atidura sampitya vyavabanat. There can be many reasons for it. Maya illusion is small, but Maya illusion is close to us, and we have kept Maya illusion close to us. That is why it covers the Supreme Soul. Dhruv Bhagat says, Tarana ote dungar re bhai, dungar me kohi jana hai. The grass stays on top of the mountain, but nobody recognizes the mountain. A patch of grass is in front of our eyes, and the whole mountain is behind this. We can see the sun in the sky, but if we cover our eyes with a hand, then we stop seeing the sun. Can you compare the sun with your hand? The sun is so great and so big, and how small is your hand? Yet the hand that is close to you can cover the big sun. We have brought Maya so close to us, and that is why Maya covers the Supreme Soul. Then if you wish to see God, then what should you do? You should slowly make Maya illusion further and further away. The further that Maya illusion goes away, then the more that you'll be able to see God. And when you see God, then you'll be able to see God in each and every place. It is not as if you see God and then God sits in front of you. God is always sitting in front of you, but you cannot see God. Narsi Mehta says, Akhila Brahman ma ektu Shri Hari Jujve Rupe Anant Base Bhavantu Pani te Bhumi tu Budara Ruksha te Fulurio Akash Vivid Rachna Kari Anek Raslevane Shiv Taki Jev Thayo Ej Ashe. Oh Hari, you are the only one in this whole universe. You take many different forms in the world. You are the wind, you are the water, you are the ether blooming in solid matter. One could not see God until now, but God was always there. God is in each and every place. Once the hand of Maya moves out of the way, then one has this experience. The veil of Maya, illusion, must move out of the way. While it is there, one cannot see the Supreme Soul. One only needs to change one perspective, and that is whether we are seeing objects as objects or whether we are seeing objects as forms of Vasudev, the Supreme Soul. Objects cannot have an independent existence, and we realize this if we look at it principally. How can objects exist without God? One sees the Supreme Soul everywhere. One sees the Supreme Soul at every event. The Supreme Soul is there in every moment. When one has a little understanding in one's heart, then one can understand this. Opportunities to recognize God come in one's life, but at that moment, instead of recognizing God, we make our ego stronger. A rose growing in a pot in one's balcony comes with God's message, but at that time, a person does not see the Supreme Soul in that rose and sees his own rose growing in his own balcony. This makes his ego stronger. Otherwise, how can one be able to see the Supreme Soul in that very rose? Many small things come into one's life, such as this. A person is in trouble on all four sides, and a complete stranger comes and helps this person. The person falls short of seeing the Supreme Soul in that person. The person thinks that he's so good and that his karmas were such that because he helped other people must come and help him. This person makes his ego stronger. Human beings remember God, and it is not as if they do not remember God, but they only remember God when they need God. Why they do not need God, when they do not need God, then they do not remember God. This is the difference between an ordinary person and a devotee. Guruji often says this during his discourses. Everybody remembers God, even ordinary people, but the difference is that the ordinary person only remembers God when he needs God, and the devotee is such that he remembers God even when he does not need God. When the daughter is getting married, then the mother has a lot of tension. The mother is preparing for 6 months and worrying about what will happen. After 15 or 20 days, we get a wedding invitation, and so we telephone her to tell her that we've got the card and that she should call us if she needs any help. She says, no, Bhagwan ni bo krupache. We have a lot of grace from God. She has a lot of grace from God. There's a week left before the wedding, and therefore you call back again as a courtesy call, and you can ask if you can be of help because the wedding is fast approaching. She still says, no, Bhagwan ni bo krupache. We have a lot of grace from God. We do not need any help because everything is going well. She says 50 times a day, Bhagwan ni bo krupache. She has a lot of grace from God. On the day of the wedding as well, the whole ceremony is going on, and you go to ask her if she needs any help. She says, no, again, Bhagwan ni bo krupache. We have a lot of grace from God, and everything is going well. The wedding is not finished, and the daughter has not got married, so you call later and ask how 2 days later, the wedding's taken place. You ask her, after 2 days, how she found the wedding. Now look how her language changes completely. She says, weddings are a walk in a park. Nobody does planning like we do. We still have bags of money left, even though we gave contracts to everyone, including the decorators. Now God is put to the side and would be lucky even to get a mention once during the day. Now she does not even mention God. When God was needed, then one says, Bhagwan ni bo krupache, because of God's grace. But what about when the job was done? This is an ordinary person. A devotee, on the other hand, remembers God while performing work, but also when works are finished. God, I can see you there. God always remembers this. When God came as Shamar Shet and filled Kumar Bai's bag for Narsi Mehta's daughter, then Narsi Mehta sang about this throughout his whole life. If Shamar Shet filled Kumar Bai's bag for Narsi Mehta's daughter, then who filled the bags for our own daughters? Do Chaganlal, Maganlal and Kacharal come and fill them? Shamar Shet comes and fills the bags for our daughters, but the woman falls short from seeing the Supreme Soul's work in this. People say that the brothers came with full bags. Of course, one cannot deny that one should have feelings for one's brother, but how did the brother come on time? The brother had done all the preparations and had got all the bags ready. He came out of the airport and realized that none of the bags had come out of the conveyor belt and all the bags were left behind. What then could he do for the giving of gifts? What if his flight got cancelled? What then would he be able to do? What if he went on a train and there was rain that ruined all the flowers and other gifts? How is this brother able to come on time? Certainly have strong feelings for your brothers, Krishna, but remember the God in your brothers. Objects will come. We are living in the material world and therefore objects will come. Even if one believes the material world and goes to the jungle, then these objects will also come there. While we are in the world, these objects will come. Therefore, one should not have contempt for objects. One should see Vasudev, the Supreme Soul, in these objects. Only such a person can become free from Maya, illusion. God gives us chances. Once read a very beautiful quote from Sri Aurobindo. I read an old edition of Sri Aurobindo's book, Essays on the Gita, but then he got a new edition of the book recently. He says that chance is a pseudonym when God does not want to put his signature. Chance is a pseudonym when God does not want to put his signature. God does not even ask to put his signature next to any event. We consider that this was chance. This is not a chance. God was there, but he was there in his non-manifest form. Even though God does not put his signature next to the event, one should learn to recognize God there. When one does not have any interest in looking at paintings by artists, then after that person looks at the painting, then he has to look at the signature on the artist on the bottom right of the picture so he can find out who the artist is. But a person who studies art and who knows about the history and different schools of painting, sees a painting and knows without looking at the signature which artist's work it must be. This is because he knows. In the same way, a person who knows about God very well recognizes God even when God is unmanifest and sees that Bhagwan ni krupa che, it is God's grace. Only such a person can understand God. A person who does not understand God is described by God in this chapter as a bewildered and an ignorant person. Such a person cannot understand God. Everything that is there is God. Verse 26.